called evaporation, and it's when the liquid water turns to water vapor and it starts to rise.
When it's heated, it becomes a gas.
Good. So what is it being heated by, Brian?
The sun.
It's being heated by the sun. 97% is what kind of water?
Ocean water.
Precipitation is when the droplets in the cloud become very heavy and they have to fall.
And they have to fall. Something else for...
So we took it into the 5th grade in large part because the 5th grade is where they focus on the water cycle.
One of the driving forces behind this was a grant from the Rotary.
Okay, well, Mrs. Cook is the one who contacted us about this program, so we want to welcome her first of all.
Hello. I'm really glad to be here.
Okay, so she's just going to give you a quick overview, and then her organization put this together, this PowerPoint presentation, and then this Jeopardy game that I told you about that we're going to play.
Well, the Watershed Association started the Greenskips program back in 2003 as an adult education, largely focused on adult education in terms of water conservation and how we manage our landscapes.
The Rotary in Scituate came to us 2 years ago and asked if we could put on a program for basically, I think they were interested in the 5th grade at that point. And so we did our first program for them.
Our town's water suppliers and DPWs are concerned that the next generation's not really understanding where the water comes from and where it goes and how the watershed works and how to conserve water. So, and of course that's an issue for the Watershed Association as well.
Originally we did it in Cohasset and Hull in a sort of an older format, but in today's sort of evolved format, we have done it in Hingham, Hanover, Marshfield, Norwell, Pembroke, Scituate, and Weymouth. And we have actually served thousands of kids. The program is basically a 3-part program. It starts with an in-class presentation that is a PowerPoint created by our own staff ecologist, Sarah Grady. It's customized for each town, so it is very specific for talking about the water resources in each particular town.
It has all what growing on it?
Algae.
Plant growth. Has that ever happened in Jacob's Pond?
Yes.
Have you ever seen the plant growth they're having there?
Yes.
And then the kids play Watershed Jeopardy to kind of cement what they've learned.
Water cycle 50, please.
Water cycle for 50. You guys are going big time. All right. Nice job. They get 50.
Then the second part is what we call Water Day, which is when we come into the school, we set up 6 stations, and they're all sort of hands-on stations relating to location, what the water resources in the particular town are.
What do you have there? 2. We have 1. What do you have left? And you have 6. So you haven't had any water to drink at all today.
They board a bus and they tour the important water features in their town.
When we pump water out of the ground, we expose it to oxygen. So if you leave a nail outside, what happens to the nail? It becomes rusty. So the same thing happens to water that has iron in it.
The third part is a stewardship component, and the idea is to work with their parents, to go through their house and to do an assessment of how water conserving their house is.
As Debbie has mentioned, we've been a little hamstrung by funding. As you know, you can well imagine, it's quite an intense, labor-intensive kind of program for us to put on. And in order for us to take it to every 5th grader in each of the towns, we need to have expanded resources to do that. But our ultimate goal is to institutionalize the program on an annual basis so that there is no 5th grader that goes through their community without learning where their water comes from, where their water goes, how to conserve water, and what are the pollution sources to those water features in their own community. That's our ultimate goal.